Space colony. Ark. This place. So familiar. But why? This is where I... Maria? Died?
Oh, yeah!
When I first got the game Shadow the Hedgehog for PlayStation 2, I fully expected it to be terrible. I was under the impression that it was going to be just as bad as Sonic 06, that it was one of the worst Sonic games ever made. That every decision made when making the game was absolutely ridiculously stupid. And you know what? Only one of those statements is correct.
Disgusting black creatures. Get out of my sight.
This game is dumb, chaotic, and sexy. For every misstep this game has, there's at least 7 great things that come along with it. Like the game's excessive use of the choose-your-own-adventure concept to the point where it may as well be a sandbox game. And I freaking love that. Now, if we're going to dive into why I love that, we're going to have to look at the game's basic premise. You play as Shadow, a 50-year-old hedgehog with dementia as he struggles to find the secrets to his past and is forced to decide which of his 2 gay dads he wants to be with after their messy divorce. You could choose to be either a goody two-shoes fellow or a big mean son of a gun who doesn't give a damn about what other people think. Or a robot. You could be a robot as well.
Shadow? Android? Am I an android too?
Now when it comes to choosing your own destiny, we have to look at those destinies individually. You can work with Dr. Eggman, the main antagonist in most Sonic games. He's voiced by Mike Pollock, and he does a damn spectacular job of doing so. Or perhaps you'd like to side with the main villain of the game, Black Doom, or as I like to call him, the Dark Lord Scaryman, who is voiced by Sean Schemmel. And if you're familiar with that name, you may know him as the guy who voices Goku in the Dragon Ball series.
Oh! I forgot my tracking!
What I absolutely love about Black Doom is how absolutely campy he is. From the absurd amounts of drip that he's got, to the gravelly voice, to the fact that he can't help but say some cheesy villain line in every scene he's in.
Annihilation for this planet is near. It is time to embrace the dawn of your demise and despair.
And yet with all that camp, the Dark Lord Scaryman doesn't hold a candle to the big man himself, Commander Abraham Tower.
Finally, justice is served!
The voice actor for the Gun Commander has perhaps the funniest delivery out of every character when it comes to his voice lines. No matter how serious he gets, everything he says just sounds absolutely hilarious.
Alert all field commanders in Sector B. I'm authorizing full use of all tactical weapons. I want both Black Aliens and Shadow stopped and buried. Failure is not an option. Yes, sir.
And I can do a lot of the voices for the characters in this game pretty frickin' well. And because Black Doom and Commander Tower sound absolutely hilarious when they talk, that makes them prime tools to be used as memes.
Shadow, as you can see, the day of reckoning is at hand. Bring me the 7 horny emeralds, as promised.
What?
You heard me, numbnuts. Mobilize Diablon!
But sir, it's not ready yet. All it could do is swing its arms and say, "Hold still, you devil."
Perfect! That's all I need.
But if you don't want to side with any of these completely deranged people, then might I suggest speaking with the man, the myth, the blue blur himself, Sonic the Hedgehog, who is perhaps the most mentally stable out of all of the factions in this game.
We're on our way to the Ark, so I guess that means we're going too.
I said the most mentally stable. I didn't say it was completely stable. But there's also the option of going your own way, ignoring the sides of good and evil, and simply getting to the end of the level as fast as possible. And it's very possible to beat the story in under an hour if you skip all the cutscenes and just get to the end as fast as possible. But that's only if you want to get 1 out of 10 of the possible endings in the game. And you have to get all 10 endings if you want to unlock the last story, meaning you gotta play through the first level, Westopolis, 10 times to beat the game. Is that a problem? Hardly, because Westopolis is freaking awesome. Everything's exploding everywhere. There's helicopters, cars, crumbling buildings, and above all else, guns. Lots and lots of guns. The guns are easily the best part about the game, as they take the Tails and Eggman gameplay of Sonic Adventure 2 and make it actually fun because you're moving at ridiculously high speeds at all times. And it's not just pistols and machine guns that this game has, no. We have bazookas, grenade launchers, laser guns, guns that need to be censored, sticks, street signs, comically large spoons, knives that somehow look scarier than guns when put into Shadow's hands, a katana that's taller than most men I know, a vacuum cleaner, healing gun, a Gatling gun that clips through the floor when Shadow runs, an orbital strike marker that's somehow the most useless weapon in the whole game, and of course, the best weapon in the game, the Omochao gun, which allows you to launch that little turd nugget from Sonic Adventure 2 and Sonic Heroes as you use his stupid little rat corpse to ricochet off walls and kill everything in sight. But let's say you don't want to use a weapon. Let's say you want to be a giant loser who claims that violence isn't the answer. Well, I wholeheartedly agree. It's not an answer. It's a question. And the answer is yes. Well, don't you worry, old sport, because Shadow has numerous other abilities at his disposal. A lot of which didn't make it into later games, and the rest didn't even survive past Sonic 06, which is a shame because most of these are either really cool new powers or improved old ones. Except for one of them. We've got the air dash and the homing attack, which is a much improvement on the ones from the previous games because it's easier to aim and it's far less likely for you to fall into a bottomless pit when you use it. The only downside, and it's a harrowing downside, is that it's extremely slow to use when compared to those other games, so it's a little bit less fun to use. The triangle jump, on the other hand, has definitely improved from the last one. It may be slower, but it allows you to run along the walls this time, which makes it a hell of a lot cooler to use. The spin dash is the only ability that I'd say was a downgrade from previous games. While you still can occasionally ramp off of things to gain an extra height or distance when you use the ability, when you're not doing that, it actually ends up being way slower than your running speed. You'd only ever use it to go underneath tight spaces, which you can literally just slide under, so it's very pointless to use in this game. Shadow also has the ability to strafe, which not only serves as a brake button when if you think you're going too fast, but it also acts as a way to aim weapons that don't auto-aim, like the grenade launcher or the heal cannon. You can also do flips with the ability, which has no bearing on actual gameplay, but it looks cool as hell. So I'm glad it's here. You gotta appreciate the little things in games. They make the experience a million times better. Shadow also has the ability to drive vehicles in this game, which makes sense because a lot of it was actually inspired by Grand Theft Auto San Andreas.
You picked the wrong house, fool!
Basically, while most of the vehicles are all way slower than Shadow naturally, they're mainly used to protect Shadow and allow him to take extra hits and prevent him from losing his rings, as well as to allow him to traverse hazardous liquids or even fly around in the sky, or simply to look cool like the motorcycle in Lethal Highway. In fact, one of my favorite levels in the whole game is the Ark, which is almost entirely based around flying around this little gold bat thing called the Black Bolt. The level reminds me a lot of the Battle Over Coruscant level in LEGO Star Wars, which is one of my favorite levels in that game. The last of Shadow's abilities pertains to the whole good versus evil thing, and it's the Chaos Meters. Throughout the levels, you'll find either black aliens, which net you hero points when you kill them, or gun soldiers, which net you dark points. There's also the egg pawns, which can be either one depending on which level you're in. When you fill up the hero meter or dark meter, you'll be able to use either the Chaos Control or Chaos Blast respectively. Chaos Control allows you to skip ahead in the stage or slow down time during a boss fight, and Chaos Blast is just,
No porcelain is safe from my diarrhea!
no matter what, however, when the meter fills up, it'll start running down immediately, and during the time of it running down, you can either use its power or you let the meter run down, which gives you full invulnerability to everything, as well as infinite ammo for all of your weapons as long as the meter still has juice in it. But filling up the Chaos Meters isn't the only thing the hero and dark points do. At the end of every level, you'll receive a final score which will determine what rank you get on your mission, ranging from A to E, depending on if you did good or if you did poorly. For neutral missions, you'll just receive points for your neutral score, as well as your rings and how long it took for you to beat the stage. For the hero and dark missions, however, you'll receive more points for the number of good or evil acts you committed during the level, depending on if you're doing a hero or dark mission. But you'll also lose points for doing the opposite of what you're supposed to do. In other words, if you're playing a hero mission, it is imperative that you kill aliens and no humans. Meanwhile, it's vice versa for the dark mission. Speaking of the missions and levels, you'll be doing a lot of these throughout the game, and they all vary wildly in difficulty and how much patience you're gonna have left after it's completed. On the one hand, you have missions like Space Gadget Hero Mission, where you gotta beat Sonic in a race to the Chaos Emerald, Lava Shelter Dark Mission, where you have to activate these lava generators, which all alter the layout of the level and with each one activated, Central City Hero Mission, where you have to use the vacuums to suck up and disarm bombs before the 8-minute timer runs out, and Air Fleet Dark, where your goal is to literally kill the President of the United States of America. You know, whenever I see reviewers online talk about this game, they almost never bring up this part of the game, which expresses exactly what makes this game so fun. It's absurd, it's ridiculous, and it's an absolute blast. On the other hand, however, the game is overloaded with these missions where you have to kill every enemy of a specific faction in a stage. These missions are by far the most boring, and they're often the missions that make people think this game is bad, especially when you get to the flashback missions, which I'll go over later, but don't you worry, Maria, your death is coming soon. Speaking of death quickly approaching, did you know that this game has over 326 possible level combinations to choose from? That's right, 326 paths to play through, with some of them having amazing plot lines that rival The Godfather in their storytelling, while the rest of them make absolutely no sense. But the best part of having all these different paths in the game is that all of them, yes, every single one of the 326 paths, have names. And most of them are absolutely hilarious. Here are some of my personal favorites.
Punishment, thy name is ruin. Purification via ruination. For machine, by machine. Subjugation in black. Sanctions demise. Birth of a god. Archimedes and the tortoise. Where is my happiness? Seduced by taste of blood. Crystallization of intellect. Died in lovely darkness. Vainglory or abandonment. A toast to the ruler. Imperialism. Just straight up imperialism. The weight of one's crimes. Black Angel. Birth of the robot emperor. This is Shadow's way of life. In the gap of sadness. Machine boys. Machine boys. Reborn along with sorrow. I am Shadow. Requiem for a fallen angel. These are ridiculous. These are all ridiculous. Darkness's strongest soldier. Good lord. Every single one of these paths are they just have the most ridiculous names. Every path in this game is a different combination of 6 levels and one final boss, which means you have the ability to pick and choose which levels you want to play again and again. You'll always be forced to play in Westopolis, Gun Fortress, Black Comet, Lava Shelter, Cosmic Fall, and Final Haunt because one of them's the first level and the rest of them are final levels, but you can choose to play all of the good stages as well. Some of my personal favorites include Digital Circuit, a high-energy cyberspace level where the goal is to destroy the internet, Cryptic Castle, a Halloween aesthetic castle with a Chow Garden within it, as well as a giant skeleton dog thing, Sky Troops, an air fleet battle between the Black Arms and Eggman, and my personal favorite level, Cosmic Fall, which is not only the hardest level in the game, but it's also a level that's very large both vertically and horizontally, meaning that when you fall hard, and I'm a sucker for levels where that happens. That's not even the best part of Cosmic Fall, no. The best part is...
Well, if it isn't Shadow! We got to make it to the computer room before this place collapses! Think you can give me a hand?
That's right, whenever you're playing a level and you're doing either the hero or dark mission, you'll have a companion following you along that guides you. On the villain side, we have Black Doom and Dr. Eggman, while on the hero side, we have Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Amy, Rouge, E123 Omega, the members of Team Chaotix, and Mario Robotnik in the flashback levels. I'm going to get to those levels. Be patient. Most of the time, these companions just complain about when you kill someone on their side, but when it comes to the hero characters, you can actually get a second person to play as them, similar to Tails in Sonic 2, where they have very limited control, but they're still able to help out someone. Even Maria is controllable, and she can do this little slap thing in the flashback level. Speaking of the flashback levels, they are the absolute worst stages I have ever played in a Sonic game ever. Well, one of them is. The Doom is the single worst stage I've ever played. The whole level is just a giant maze, and you never know where you're going, nor where you've been. In the neutral mission, the objective is to find the goal ring, which normally would be very easy because it's usually at the end of the level. But because of the fact that this level was designed by an iguana as a science experiment to try and study the minds of reptiles, when you find the goal ring, you're never like, oh yeah, I made it. No, instead the reaction is more like, I found it? It's completely ridiculous, and the maps on the wall don't help either because the whole place looks the frickin' same no matter what. The hero mission isn't any better. The goal is to take the healing capsules and throw them at the wounded scientists scattered throughout the space colony arc so that you may heal them. Finding the scientists is already a hassle because, like I said, the whole map is a maze, but the fact that you have to walk super slowly while being unable to defend yourself just to heal this one guy, it's completely ridiculous. But Kieran, I hear you say, can't you just use the heal cannon you mentioned earlier to heal the scientists? And yes, you can use the heal cannon to do that. The thing is, though, the heal cannon is an unlockable weapon which can only be obtained after you've completed one of the endings at Final Haunt. So if you haven't beaten either of the endings at Final Haunt, you can't use the heal cannon. What's worse is that there are no black aliens or Eggman robots for you to destroy and build up the hero meter, meaning that your only source of hero points is to heal the gun soldiers and not accidentally kill them after you've healed them. But that's not even the worst mission, no. The worst mission is the dark mission. Kill all 60 gun soldiers in the arc. Why is that mission the worst? Well, let me tell you, Buster, because it's glitched. The mission is broken. You see, when you're playing through that mission, sometimes the gun soldiers won't even spawn in unless you return to a checkpoint and go back. You have to reset it by teleporting through the teleporter checkpoints in order to make sure that the gun soldiers have returned to their spot. Because if you don't, you won't be able to complete the mission, and you will take a million more years on this level that already takes a million years. It is monotonous, it is repetitive, and the music isn't even that good. It's just really, really bad as a level. And you know what's even dumber? Most people don't even realize that that level even exists. Most of the time, when people think about this game and some of the bad levels in it, they always think about Lost Impact, which is the other flashback level in the game. And while that level is bad, I don't really think it's all too awful. It's certainly way better than the Doom because it's actually linear and the maps on the wall actually help to tell where you are. Now, the hero mission of Lost Impact is very boring. The goal is to kill 35 of these things known as artificial chaos in the space colony arc. But I think that this level is much more interesting because, one, you get to ride on these little gunner turret things and just shoot everything around you. And two, the music is actually really chill and it actually makes the level feel a lot less awful. And I feel like the hate for the level is way overblown, along with the rest of the game, honestly. Yeah, it takes a long time to complete the hero mission in that level, but it can also be beaten in under 4 minutes, so I'm pretty sure you don't really have all that much to really complain about. But yeah, I'd have to say that the best part of the level is definitely the music. It's so chill and relaxing, and it makes me feel like I'm actually having a decent time on the space colony arc, instead of, in severe pain all the time. Speaking of the music, this game's music is phenomenal, among some of the best in the Sonic series. Don't get me wrong, I do enjoy some Sonic Unleashed music every once in a while, and Sonic Forces, for as god-awful of a game as that is, it certainly has some good music tracks. But where Sonic music really thrives is during the golden age of Sonic, which is the era that Shadow the Hedgehog is part of, despite the fact that it was given terrible reviews. I'd have to say that every game from Sonic Adventure to Sonic Riders is part of the golden age of Sonic. This includes Sonic Battle, Sonic Heroes, Sonic Adventure 2, Sonic Rush, Sonic Riders, all that. And every single one of these games, except for, of course, Sonic Shuffle, but then again, nobody cares about Sonic Shuffle, that's just kind of the outlier of the group. Every single one of these games in the Golden Age has fantastic music, no matter what. And of course, Shadow the Hedgehog is no exception. In Shadow the Hedgehog, we've got some really good heavy metal tracks like Death Ruins, Blizzard Canyon, and Prison Island. We've also got some more songs that pertain to the theming of the level, like Gun Fortress, Final Haunt, and Lost Impact, like I've mentioned already. Some music tracks that pertain to the level itself, like Cryptic Castle, and Digital Circuit, and Circus Park. Lava Shelter. Game, no matter what, will always be fantastic. There's not a single track in this game that doesn't slap, except for maybe the Doom, like I said, but honestly, nobody really cares about the Doom. But where this game really thrives is in the vocal tracks. The vocal tracks of this game are fantastic. From the main theme, I Am All of Me, made by Crush 40.
Can you see all of me? Walk into my mystery. Step inside and hold for dear life. Do you remember me? Capture you and set you free. I am all of me. I am.
To all of the ending credits, like The Chosen One by Mona Lisa Overdrive. Magnify. And even all
Almost Dead, which is perhaps the song that I think best exemplifies exactly what this game feels like, and it just overall is. It's the greatest song in this soundtrack, not because it's the best sounding, it's not, but because it's the one that definitely feels like how the game feels the most. Especially considering one of the lyrics is, "Heaven can't save us, hell is a joke!" Indeed, truly, it is brilliant what these people come up with. So that about sums it up in terms of the music, the gameplay, all that jazz. What's left? Oh, right, the story. It is nonsense. As I've said before, every character in this game is an absolute riot. From the antagonists to especially the protagonist, Shadow the Hedgehog. He says so many things in this game that I think are just unfathomably based. Here are a few examples.
This is like taking candy from a baby, which is fine by me. Where's that damn fourth Chaos Emerald? You scum! You're going down! You're going straight to hell! Such a cowardly attempt to take the city. Unbelievable. This is just too easy. Guess it's my lucky day. These humans, they don't value life. They're going to pay with their lives for what they've done. Look how pathetic they are. I don't have time for these humans. What? I am the most powerful hedgehog in the world! The power of these emeralds makes me invincible. I am the ultimate hedgehog. This is who I am!
Now, if we're gonna finally put an end to this whole shebang, we're gonna need to talk about The Last Way, which is basically just a mix of Final Haunt and Black Comet levels, but this time with an extra twist. This time, you have to use the Chaos Control ability by killing all the aliens and activating it in order to progress through the level. If you don't use Chaos Control, you won't be able to move forward, and you need to move forward because there's a 15-minute time limit on the level. And then once you've killed all the aliens, Black Doom does some stupid villain shenanigans and then proceeds to say 7 villain lines in a row.
Have it your way, Shadow. So be it. Be prepared to meet your maker. Your past, present, and future ends here. Today, prepare to die. Say goodbye, Shadow, as you witness my true wrath.
Then we move on to the final boss, which is definitely the best boss in the game. Oh, right, I forgot to mention the boss fights. They're all pretty good. Hold still, you devil! And that's all you really need to know, but back to the final boss of the game. Devil Doom. Devil Doom is definitely the best boss fight in this game, by a long shot. You basically have to shoot him with this ability called Chaos Spear, which basically allows Shadow to shoot a laser out of his hands, and you gotta shoot him in each of his individual eyes, or his single eye that just keeps floating around from head to head, meaning you gotta chase after it as he uses either fire attacks, throws random debris at you, or uses these weird energy balls that shoot lasers. You can also ram into him, which causes him to teleport away, which allows you to collect more rings. Of course, that means you also have to chase after him, so that's kind of harsh. So anyway, after you beat Devil Doom, Shadow takes the Black Comet, which is the alien hideout, and sends it off to the space colony Ark, where it gets shot by a giant frickin' mega laser. So the people on Earth are all celebrating Shadow and all of his victories, as Shadow decides he's finally gonna let go of the past, and the credits roll, and you hear that sweet, sweet music. And that was Shadow the Hedgehog, a game that I will absolutely remember fondly as the single most ridiculous and greatest Sonic game in history, apart from the Doom. The Doom can burn. In my opinion, a game's first and only goal should be to entertain the people playing it, because if you fail at that, then you've basically failed at the one thing you were created to do if you're a video game.
So, because Shadow is perhaps the most entertaining Sonic game, I definitely say it's up there among the best. 8 out of 10. It's a damn good time.